Buongiorno. Yes.
To the pledge.
Yes. How exciting is that?
It's very exciting.
We're going to miss KTLO.
One.
I would like to call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum, and it has been duly called. Appropriate notice has been given. If you please remove your hats and stand up for the pledge by our state champion boys tennis team, if you would lead us.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Tusky? All of you. All of you.
All right, real quick, and I'll turn it over to Coach King. This year, I will say, first of all, legacy. They improved all the facilities with Chris Massari, which was, a lot better for them to practice and play. The only problem was this year we switched conferences. We went from 5A West to the 5A East. Made it really difficult to get home matches. So these guys and their parents not only had to, they did most of their playing on the road. So that makes it tough on them. The travel we have, and it made it tough on their parents. You see where they ended up. They ended up 5A East Conference champions, and then they were 5A state champions as a whole, and then Pierce and Finley were double state champions. So
Wow.
they did a great job, and I'll turn it over to Skylar.
Yeah, so I'm really proud of all of our boys for this year, for the year that we had. Last year we were runner-up for conference and we were runner-up for state, which was a great accomplishment last year. And our boys had a goal from the very beginning, right as soon as we started practices in June. And they said that they had a goal of winning a state title. And it's been really fun to just watch them practice, how committed they've been to coming to practice in the summer early in the morning as the sun's coming up, and they practice hard and they do things the right way. And they've had a really, really good season. One of the biggest things that I want to make sure that I acknowledge about these guys is no matter where we went, whether it was a really competitive school or a school that there was kind of a talent disparity, the amount of coaches that have come up and parents that would want to take pictures with our guys after the matches or would tell them, how good they were to their kids. It was just really neat to see as a coach, because that happened from the beginning of the year all the way to the state finals, where I think their celebration when Pierce and Finley won kind of summed it all up. When they hit the game-winning point to win state, they hugged for a quick second. It wasn't a long, drawn-out deal. Then they went and shook hands, and then we celebrated. They've been a high-character team, and they've worked hard, and I know I'm extremely proud of them. And Coach Grant Talbot has been our volunteer coach, and he has been just such a huge help for the tennis program as a whole. And he wasn't able to be here tonight. He'll be here tomorrow, but I do want to make sure that I acknowledge him as well. So it's been a really good year, and I'm extremely proud of our guys.
Can you let them introduce themselves, please?
Yes, absolutely. So we'll start right here.
My name is Strat Rucker, and I'm a junior on the tennis team.
I'm Strat Smith, and I'm a senior on the tennis team.
I'm Finley Chafin, and I'm a senior on the tennis team.
I'm Lane Horn, I'm a junior on the tennis team.
I'm Anthony Jones, and I'm currently a sophomore on the tennis team.
I'm Noah Rickenwald, and I'm a senior on the tennis team.
I'm Pierce Blackman, and I'm a senior on the tennis team.
I'm Nathan Mooney, and I'm a freshman on the tennis team.
I'm Tyler Webb, and I'm a sophomore on the tennis team.
I'm Ben Sauer, and I'm a junior on the tennis team.
I'm Shelley Jones, and I'm a sophomore on the tennis team.
Awesome.
And then we're missing, we've got one more, Max Goodwin, and he was sick, so he wasn't able to be here, but he's a freshman. And so that kind of rounds out our boys roster.
Big plans for the future of you senior boys? No?
Don't get shy now.
Come on.
Just go with the flow.
Okay. None of that NIL money's coming your way yet?
No.
Okay. All right.
We do have Pierce and Finley that qualified one state to go to overall tennis.
Nice. When's that?
Monday.
Monday. Oh, okay.
And that'll be at Burns Park in Little Rock.
In Little Rock. Very good. Thank you. We are so proud. It's been a while, so thank you for making us look good.
2007 was last.
I thought it was a long time ago.
Did practice start at 6 or 6:30 every morning in the summer? Was
I
it?
think 6:30.
6:30, and we did give them Fridays off.
I mean, this is summertime. They're out there at
Hot.
6:30 in the morning though. Just that dedication. That's the result of that dedication, getting out there in the mornings. Well done, gentlemen. Nice hardware.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up and showing off. We like it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you very
having
much.
us and letting us do this.
Congratulations. Well, I don't know how you're gonna follow that, but we need an approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda in the minutes of the September
Thank you.
19th meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you.
See you guys. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you. You could stay. Okay, Miss Lawrence. Follow that.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, on your academic report.
So we had a very big week. We finally, in October, got our summative results from our new Atlas assessment. So this is supposed to say 23-24. It is summative, and we got our scores in ELA, math, and science for grades 3 through 10. We also just yesterday, our universal screening results were released, but that is still kind of an ongoing process. So tonight we're going to focus on summative. So what you're going to see in the slides tonight, we're going to do some pretty quick screenshots because we just got this information Monday. There's going to be we're doing a lot of training, and we're going to be doing a lot of analysis of the data in the months ahead. But we wanted you to see just the snapshot tonight. You can see this is by content area, and you'll see the grades are listed there 3 through 10. You can see the number of tests given, and you can see the change in colors. So what you're used to seeing is red, yellow, green, and blue. They've actually changed our color code system to orange, light green, darker green, and blue. And I have a slide that'll explain that in just a second. But you can see this is the overall district result by content area. And then our next slide is going to break this down into, you'll see grade level bands there. And we're going to try to keep this a little brief tonight because Allison knows I could really talk about this for a really long time. But these are links in their portals they can click on, and like if you're a 7th ELA, then what it does is it populates by teacher. And from there, it populates by student. And so what you're seeing is just the entry level at a glance piece that you get when you first click into that content area. Teachers have their own logins that show just their class or classes. So there's a lot of learning how to work the portal itself, but we spent a lot of time in this. So we had a lot of excitement when we saw our scores. You know, as y'all know, this is the first year we've done this assessment tool, so there was just a lot of unknowns. And when we got our scores back, we were overall very pleased in all content areas. If you go to the next slide, you'll see just the snapshot. That one is for math, the tested areas in math. Like I said, those are links that you can click in on any grade, and it's going to populate a lot more information. One thing we do love about this, the data they're giving us, is in the portal you can actually click on a strand within the subject area, and from strand you can even go to standard. So what our teachers are going to be able to do is, let's say the strand is reading for information, they can break into that strand and they can even see the standards that were tested within that, and then they can target the learning towards that. So we were very excited when we saw how this is going to be broken down for teachers. It's going to give us a lot of really valuable information on how to kind of guide our instructions for students. I think our next one is just going to show you, their science. And then our next slide is just going to give you, we just want to give you a couple of celebrations and growth areas tonight since this is brand new information. Some of our highest above average scores, our 5th grade math team overall had a 16% above state average score on this. Seventh grade science was 14% above the state average, and sixth grade math was 12% above state average. So those, we were very excited and wanted to celebrate those scores for y'all. And as far as growth areas, there's always, you know, areas where the data kind of leaves you that you might want to kind of circle around. We are going to do a little bit of focus on just a couple pieces of third grade literacy. You know, this is their first year to do an assessment like this. We always have to do a little bit of extra support there. Just they're learning how to take a test like this. One thing they like about the universal screener piece is it's supposed to be, you know, prepping them for the actual Atlas assessment. So we'll have that moving forward. And you can see the other two areas where we're going to do a little bit of focus on that we're just a little bit below the state average. So already kind of talking some strategies on that with our collaborative teams within our professional learning communities. The next slide is going to show you the color breakdowns. So we're levels now. It's a lot of new language we're going to speak with this. So our levels are level 1, 2, 3, and 4. Level 1 is the orange. That's what we used to call in need of support. We usually are used to that being red, so our brains are having to kind of rethink this a little bit. It's level 1, and those are the students that are going to need a little bit more intensive support. Level 2, if you'll read the descriptor on there, they do have a basic understanding of knowledge and skills for their grade levels. That's really a good way to look at their data. They do have skills, they just may need a little bit of extra support. They may need a little bit of extra intervention. And so that is some good information to have. It doesn't mean they are not able to perform on grade level if they're level 2. We just need to kind of watch their progress through their essential standards. Level 3, that's where you're seeing proficient understanding. And then level 4 is their advanced understanding. So at first glance, what we wanted to do is we were adding the green and blue, the darker green and the blues together to see our overall proficiency percentage for that grade or that class, the teacher. That's how we start kind of looking at those numbers. And then our last slide we're going to show you tonight is some of the resources that they're now offering for parents. This is a whole new piece that we've not had before. There's a parent portal, and this week our parents received codes for their, or guardians received codes for their students, and then they were able to go in and see the scores. So that's a new piece we have not had that we're excited about, and then they do have some resources for parents. They have some kind of sample, assessments you can see, and we'll get into this later, but even with the universal screener, there's going to be some individualized reading plans that will populate in the parent portal. So they are going to really enhance our ability to share information with our parents. So that's kind of at a glance. We have a lot more work to do here. We do want to celebrate our teachers' hard work because we were at or above state average in all but those 3 areas, and that was for every content, every grade combined. And so how many tests or assessments that was, we felt really like we have a lot of celebrating to do there. So do you have any questions for me about?
So these codes in the portals, does that go with the student every year? Do they keep it where you can kind of watch
It's a student ID as far as what we know. I mean, so we don't know everything about that yet because it's our first year to have it, but their student IDs should.
We emailed all 3 10 plus some 11th grade, maybe a 12th grade parent that had a child in geometry. Those were emailed on
Yesterday, or Tuesday, on Tuesday, right?
No, Wednesday. Yesterday.
Okay.
So our 3rd through 10th grade parents received those codes. And I did hear Ms. Camp answering phone calls, helping parents find the codes. If they hadn't gotten an email from one of their children or had gone to a different parent, because it only sent it to one email. We are looking kindergarten through 3rd grade for the screener. We don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or Monday, but we intend on getting those codes emailed out as well. Parent-teacher conferences are next week, and that is going to be a fantastic opportunity for our parents to sit down with our teachers and really have some conversation.
And our teachers, our teachers have a lot of questions still too. We've had 3 days in a row of Zoom trainings after school to just break this into some parts, and then we have more training next week. And so there's going to be a lot of support from the State Department as we kind of work our way through the changes. But
Ms.
Any
Lawrence,
questions? Yes.
I have a quick one.
Okay.
I was looking at the growth areas, right, but
Mhm.
this question applies to the ones where we're above average as well, too. Have we seen this, like, eighth grade literacy? Have they been below state average previous years? Have we been
They have.
tracking that class has been below?
No.
Or has something
It
changed?
typically, so we do see usually a dip in 3rd and 10th grade.
Sure.
That's historically kind of where we see it, 8th grade at times.
We've had 8th grade below state average
Yeah.
before, but it's not the group of children, it is the
And
grade
even
level.
above average, hey, we've seen that class that's consistently been above average as we watch it
You know,
move
and that's-
through. I mean,
that's
do
a
we-
great point.
Do we see those bubbles move through either up or down?
We focus so much on the below, I think, and we should focus
But
on
the
that
above
as
too,
well.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you could look at 3, 4, and 5 and say maybe, hey, those are COVID years perhaps, so they didn't get, maybe that's why it's showing up here, but also, hey, we've got above averages. Is that class been above average going through there, or did we do something different this year that's caused the bump up?
Well, and I think speaking to the extension piece, what the teachers are gonna be able to see when they break into that strand and into those standards is they can see were they proficient in all those standards to be blue, or do they still dip down a little bit? I mean, they can kind of see what areas of support the blue students might still need.
Okay.
Or, you know, kind of the same if they're green, maybe they just need to catch a couple more things to put them in that next color
Sure.
category. So there's gonna be a lot of instructional strategy around how, you know, especially our students that are just right in that area where they're close to going to the next
Sure.
level, we're gonna be really trying to support that.
Okay.
So, it's been really exciting to finally see some information. Our teachers have never had to wait this long. And so they, you know, it brings a lot of new work to the table, but this is what they've been waiting for. So, I think our biggest challenges look to be in how to decipher the expectations around the universal screener, because they're gonna be given testlets, and that's something that the State Department is figuring out as they go, and then we're kind of just going a step behind the State Department, and like, they're even making changes. They told us in the Zoom today, well, they made a change like today. So, they're getting some feedback as the results go out, and they're having to make some adjustments. So I'm trying to tell teachers, think of this as almost like a pilot year, especially with the universal screener, and we'll work through the whole process by May, and then I feel like next year their timing is gonna align more with beginning of year, middle of year, end of year like we're used to, and so it's just gonna start feeling a lot more comfortable for our teachers as far as the timing and getting the results they need in a way that they feel like helps the students more than waiting until a quarter has passed. But that we knew this was, they've told us all along, we've got to, they had to get the cut scores and all those things in place before they could release scores. So it's just a new process, but I don't know, that's good stuff. Y'all have
Any more questions for Ms. Lawrence?
If y'all wanna ever look and see the strands or any of that broken down, just let me know. It's too complicated to show like this, but I'm happy to show you anything that you'd like to see with it.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Lawrence. Ms. Cotter, financial reports.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We'll look at the first sheet of 2B for the statement of changes in fund balance for the month ending September 30th, 2024. We ended the month of September with $13,764,789.81. Just to highlight a few things that happened during the month, in Fund 3000, we had quite a few expenditures, and those were related to new HVAC units. We had payments for the kindergarten roof repairs and high school parking lot upgrades. In Fund 6501, that's our Title I fund, we got a really nice reimbursement back. During the month of August and September, we're typically getting all of those renewals for software and things like that going, and we also have in the area. Also, a nice update is in Fund 6561. That's the CSP grant that Guy Berry had. We learned that there's going to be an extension to that grant So we're gonna get to utilize those funds through the end of this school year. So they've been making plans for how they can best utilize those remaining funds to help their students.
Any questions so far?
Moving on to the statement of revenue, expenditures, and changes in fund balance for the month ending September 30th, 2024. We had total revenues of $3,387,340.14 with total expenditures of $4,050,589.50. Moving on to the monthly fund balance tracking for the month of September. This is for funds 1, 2, and 4 combined. We ended September with $7,295,214.63. Then the next page is our statement of changes in activity funds for all of our activity funds for the district, and we ended the month of September with $558,227.67.
Okay, any questions for Ms. Cotter?
The following pages are system reports that support this information, as well as the September check register.
Barring none. Thank you, Ms. Cotter. Enrollment report.
Current student count, 3,758. That's down 5 from last month, but I like to look at what we did from September to October last year, and we were actually down 14. So maybe.
That's positive thinking.
That's positive thinking.
Good
I just
job.
try to.
Good job.
Try to find the positive there.
That's all we can do right now. All right, student transfer update.
We had 1 out, 0 in, but it was a homeschool student that we had not had. So it did not affect our current enrollment.
Okay. Mr. Knight, facilities report, please.
So it's not very often I get to come to a board meeting and not ask for money. So here's a few things I want you guys to know that's happening. You know, we applied for the Guyberry roof to be replaced in the last master plan. It has been approved. But the way those work is there's a funding matrix, and in May we'll know if they're going to give us any money for that. Usually it's not a whole lot, but some is better than nothing. There was leftover money for the safety grant that we got, that we did all the doors with. So we reapplied for some extra things, and they granted us $59,900 to do the classroom doorknobs and the teachers. That'll make sure that when the door's shut, it's always locked. There is no way to unlock them. You can unlock it with a key to get in, but there's no button. It's a lot like a janitor's closet. And that just shows you how many doorknobs we have in the district. So that'll be a gigantic project. Also, Mrs. Dewey sent me an email the other day, and I think that we're going to get, when that grant is coming due again. So
$50 million has been.
$50 million for the schools, and they're going to, you know, that was like a priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. This is going to be more priority 2 and 3, and 2 is mainly cameras. So that'll be good. So we'll know more about that soon. And I didn't know Mitch was going to be here today, so he can answer any questions about this, but I know we're always watching our budget and talking about how we're scrimping and saving, and we just wanted to kind of publicly say that when people go into the gym, they're going to see this amazing new video board, and that was a donation. Even the installation, even the electrical being run, that is zero cost to the district.
Nice.
Really is.
Fantastic.
Thanks for clearing that up, because there will be people that will say something.
Trying to save some social media work.
Good luck. Thank you, Mr. Knight. Any questions for Mr. Knight?
Was there a timeline on the video board? Will it be up for basketball season, or do we know?
I can't remember when the exact date we ordered, but it should be up.
Okay.
See, Crawford Electric's already been here and ran the wire in. They're coming in Thursday to punch a hole through the wall. Maintenance not real happy with me right now because we're having to move some of the state championship
Banners.
banners.
Yeah.
David
saw-
Hirsch and
I saw
Martin.
him measuring.
They just, it's gonna be good.
He'll be here soon. All right.
And we'll be able to use that for academic as well, and that you could hook anything up to that, do a presentation in the gym. Coaches could use it while they're practicing, so it's more than just game. We'll be able to get some educational stuff out of it as well.
Anonymous donor.
There's nine, a group of nine that come
Nice.
in together. What I tell you, that was the best thing. I learned my first year, I had a group, somebody come to me and had about a $20,000 project. In my mind, I thought it should have went somewhere else. We lost that $20,000 because of that. So now if they come in, it's no cost to the district. We'll roll with you most of the time.
Very good. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Have a good night. Okay, board action items. Mr. Engel, PPC, request to approve the NHS stipend. We love those stipends.
So this is the first fruit of our labor of last year of trying to implement policy to get new stipends approved. So this is for National Honor Society at the high school. There's a lot of effort that goes into that.
A lot of effort, yes.
Group, and I think a stipend for it's long overdue. So I ask that you approve the stipend for NHS for Tier 3.
Do I have a motion?
I move to approve recommendation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Engel. Stay there. Request to approve longevity bonus. Since we're talking money, we like longevity.
So this bonus is for those who were at the bottom of the salary schedule last year and therefore did not get any raise moving forward. So this is really just a thank you for A, your dedication to the district, and B, for coming back.
And staying.
I think there were 32 and 5, is that correct?
32 and 5.
32 on the certified and 5 on the classified who will receive this bonus should you guys approve it. But it's a $1,000 one-time bonus.
I move the board approve the recommendation.
Second. Motion from Mr. Pendergrass, second from Ms. Molly. Any discussion?
Okay, recap the number of employees we're talking about here.
37.
37 total.
Total.
Mhm.
Okay.
There's several ways to look and think about this, right? Since they did not get a step this past year, right, with the cost of inflation, you can actually look at it, they took a decrease
A loss.
in pay this year, in their take-home pay. And these are our most experienced staff members, right? So, I asked Ms. Dewey a question, I was like, are these, are we getting, because they're so experienced, are we getting the most, are we getting that experience out of them? She showed me the names, or some of the names, and you recognize all the names, right? These folks that have been here for this long. And so this is the experience that brings a lot to the table, to the district. And like if you were to, one of my concerns was, say, with Lawrence, is that maybe some of this private school would start pulling some of our experienced teachers away from the district. These are the folks that we really, really want to keep in the district. And if they're essentially getting a pay decrease because they don't get a step, that is detrimental to the district. So I'm 100% behind supporting this. And I think it's the right thing to do. And I think that's the right way to look at it.
Okay, any further discussion?
We did budget for this.
Yes.
Yeah, I will say that those people have the opportunity to T-drop, and that makes them a lot of money on T-drop,
Yeah.
too.
And they stick with us.
All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Engel. Mr. Daly, CPPC, request to approve food service department bonus.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Matt Daly, and I'll introduce myself just because it's the first time I've been here. This last month, I got elected to be the chair of the CPPC now. So
Did you miss a meeting? Is that how that works? You miss a meeting, you get elected.
Yeah, that's
Appointed.
probably it. So I'm here to ask that the board approve a one-time bonus for all of the food service department members of $500. This is something that we had done one time in the past, and we're looking to do again to reward these folks for their hard work and creative use of supplies that's really helped the district, get their food service budget moving in a good direction. So if you would approve it, we would like to pay them the $500 bonus, equally across the board for every employee.
All right.
I make a motion that we approve the food service department bonus as presented.
Second.
I have a motion from Scott, a second from Jason. Any discussion?
Remember that Fund 8,000, like they generate their own revenue. It's separate from all the other district revenues. So this is, and they're doing really well. They're making money in the food district and the food department. And that's because of their creativity and their hard work, and they're willing to go the extra mile. And so, yeah, this is a direct result of their extra work. So.
And I've worked at a couple of school districts now, and I can say, just from what I've seen, that food service is a really hard place to be in the good financial standing.
Definitely.
So we've got some real good people working there and doing good
We
things.
appreciate them very much.
Very much.
It's not enough, but, all right. All in favor? Unanimous? Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
You too. Ms. Dewey requests to approve resolution for district treasurer.
Yes, each time you get a new business manager, we need to adopt a resolution to appoint our new business manager as the district treasurer. This then goes to the county clerk, county treasurer, and director of Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration. So I ask the board I recommend the approval of the attached resolution to appoint Donna Harper, our business manager, to serve as our district treasurer.
Make a motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
I'll second it.
I have a motion from Jason, a second from Scott. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, Ms. Dewey. Mr. Mendelewski requests to approve copier lease.
I know y'all been waiting for this for 4 years.
Yes, boy,
It is-
took so long.
Actually, I really love this project. It takes a lot of time, we put a lot of time into it, but we really look at the machines we have and what we need to change and where we need to add machines and what we can keep for another cycle, and a lot of work goes into it. It's a really fun project for me. So, in short, we're keeping 11.
We need to find you another.
Yeah, you've gotta get a hobby, brother.
So we're keeping 11 machines out of the old lease, which will not have a lease payment on them, and then we're adding 32 new machines, which will bring our total from 38 to 43. So we saw lots of little areas that just need a small machine, but with everything being managed, it's hard just to stick a LaserJet printer in there and make it work for a bunch of people. So we're going to put managed machines, small desktop ones in. The cost to run them will be a fraction of what a normal printer would be in that location, and we can stick them under the lease and get the service on them and everything, and not really have to touch them. And then, but putting a high quality machine in those other locations, such as some of the band rooms and Agri and stuff like that. So that was one thing that we changed. We did put this out on the website just to see if any other companies wanted to quote on it or give us a quote on it. It is a state contract, so it doesn't have to go out for sealed bids or anything like that. And we did receive another quote from another company and kind of had some negotiations back and forth and some modified quotes, and it really kind of, it helped us out a little bit. So that was a good thing, that there's a little bit of competition out there, and it's gonna save us a little bit of money. The new lease cost will be $4,638.25 a month. Our current payment is $6,981.93. Part of the big difference in that is that 4 years ago, we purchased the management software for the printers, which was $20,000. So that is paid for now. There's maintenance and licensing with that, but the bulk cost is paid for now. So some of the difference that you see in that cost is that we don't have to purchase that full suite again. So, so I'd recommend the board approve the refresh and the monthly lease pricing of $4,638.25 a month for a 54-month lease term. And if you have any questions, please ask.
I move the board approve the recommendation.
Second.
Have a motion from Neil, a second from Molly. Any discussion?
So what is the price per copy? Roughly, I mean, don't get it out there to
I do have it here. It
third
is-
digit or anything.
It's like .00.
I have it, Steve.
You have it?
Yes, 0.0035 cents per black and white, and then 3.5.
So we are out into the third digit anyway, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The other question, of course, you know where I worked at before. All of our printers, you either had to put a key code in or you had to swipe your badge.
Mhm.
So, is that how these are gonna be arranged? You've got a code that you're punching into
It
them
is,
so
and-
that
And it has been the last 4
somebody's
years.
not making recipe copies and yeah.
Right,
Okay.
right. That was part of the management software we went on 4 years ago. So we'll continue that. The copiers have badge readers on them, and we can pull full reports on all the usage, which has been very useful.
Okay.
The past 4 years, pulling those totals for various schools or, period of time.
So we kinda have to be careful with that, don't we?
So,
In a way, because we don't wanna discourage teachers from making copies that they need for class.
Right.
As long as it's promoting their class, so.
Right.
I kinda caution us to be real careful when we start looking at, oh, well, this one is making 1.5 times as many
Right.
copies as somebody teaching the same
And
class.
you see the trends even like in elementary, you see higher numbers than you do in the
Mhm.
higher grades. And that's understandable, they're doing more hands-on
Sure.
material for the kids.
Mhm.
And we really encourage teachers to use the copiers and even the color copiers because of what it costs. I mean, it's a fraction of a desktop printer in a classroom. So it really is cost-effective to have.
Now, I assume these default to black.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to tell it if you want color each time. right?
Yeah, and really, so most of the teacher workroom copiers are large, high-volume, black and white machines.
Okay.
And then all the front offices typically have a color machine in them that they can go to make a color copy. And then they kind of see if there's a weird trend of someone coming in the front office all the time to make color copies that normally wouldn't. I mean, it may just kind of trigger someone to ask about it. And then we're trying to kind of add color a few more places, just so it's easier for the teachers, so they don't have to go as far to get a color copy if they need to.
Thank you.
Is repair and replacement incorporated in this lease? So printer breaks, is it?
So we don't, so the click rate per page includes all of the supplies and maintenance and service that gets done. So this cost is strictly for the lease, and then we get invoiced every month on
service plan.
basically the clicks, right?
Okay.
So there's no additional cost or plan for service, it's included in that click rate,
Okay.
so.
And is this the vendor we've used previously?
Yes.
Okay, and we've been
Yes.
happy with them?
Yes, extremely happy.
This service is, I'll just tell you, as a
Yeah.
building principal, it's just
Yeah.
he's there fast.
Yeah, our service guy is local, and other companies have local people also. Yeah, he's
Very
almost-
responsive.
Almost
Is that
one of
the right
us.
word? He's very responsive.
Yes.
Very good. Any further questions? All right, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, Steve. Have a
Thank you.
good night.
All right.
Move to board discussion. Any discussion? Anyone? Any? Anybody?
I will give a big compliment to Judy Lawrence and her leading of the curriculum group. I had the privilege of attending that meeting, and if we wonder if teachers take their job serious, they are professionals. Sitting in the room when they were taking the survey, they were so intense, I sat up straight, and I was scared somebody was going to call on me. I mean, we have some really good faculty.
Yeah, we do. You are lucky. Anyone else?
Miss Lawrence is in the land of test scores right now.
Yes, she's.
And it is.
The land of test scores.
We have had teachers here all three
We have.
3 afternoons.
And I assume everybody gets.
It's like
excited
you.
as I do, and like, I'll try to talk about it, and they're like, we're good. Like,
Their eyes are rolling back in their head.
everybody has a lane. you know?
Yes, that's
Good
true.
stuff.
Superintendent update?
I do have a few things. Fantastic week. Homecoming, it has been a lot of fun.
Busy
And
week.
It has been so busy. And tomorrow at 7 o'clock will be the game, and then homecoming will not quite be over because Athletic Hall of Honor on Saturday and the homecoming dance. But I heard we're not invited. That's what I heard.
We were told to stay away.
But I do have a key. Couple of quick reminders, and I am going to send all these dates to you in an email tomorrow. 10/24, so that's next Thursday during parent-teacher conferences at 5 o'clock. We'll have the report to the public. So 5 o'clock Dunbar will be report to the public, and I bet you'll get to see some more intense test scores. This is during parent-teacher conference night, so we will advertise. We'll get the word out that at 5 o'clock. Valley Springs Regional ASBA meeting, 10/29. Right now, we have Scott, Molly, Neil, and myself. If there's anybody else that wants to go, if you could let us know. The 4th will be lunch board meeting at Guyberry, time to be determined. Like I said, I'm sending all this out to y'all. 11/4 will be drop-in with Dewey in Buford. So that'll be from 5 to 7, and I'll get
Who's going with you to that
I need
one?
somebody to go with me.
I like Buford. I'll go with you. If nobody wants to join her.
Oh, you don't. Just down the street. No, it's down the street for both of us.
Either way. All right, I need one of y'all.
Okay.
So I'll get a hold of y'all, and there's gonna be more opportunities. We've already been invited to the Henderson Chili Cook-Off in March. They would prefer me do that. And I'll be taking one of you with me there. We're going to be judges.
Ooh.
It's a really big deal.
It's a big
That
deal.
is, that's huge.
And they've invited us to come and just socialize. They don't really want a presentation. They just think it would be a great opportunity to kind of theme the event. It is not 100% yet, but I'd say we're about 95% for sure that we've been invited to that event. So it'll be me and one of y'all as a chili judge. And I suggested they, half their kids go to Viola and half their kids come here. So I did suggest calling Mr. McCarn, seeing if he wanted to bring a board member as well, and
And
we
some
kind
chili?
of have a little
Maybe you should have a Mountain Home
head-to-head
school
type.
versus
I
Viola.
don't know, but anyway, it should be fun, and we're getting out
course
there,
we will.
and that was my goal, and we're getting there. So stay tuned, right? So this is something I'm very excited about. On the 11th of November, we have Dr. Robin Finley coming to Dunbar. She will talk about social media challenges and actually solutions. We've been able to partner with PTO on this event. Teachers have been invited at 3:30 to come if they'd like. I've invited Christian Academy and all our local districts, not even local. I went out the coast all the way to Mammoth Springs, and then I went, which way is that, west as well. So we've invited quite a few folks to hopefully join us. Also, I told them to send their parents, send their community. 6 to 7:30 that evening will be Dr. Finley. PTO is going to be providing childcare. No students or children are allowed in the presentation. And she said, if I see a child or a student, I stop. So it is pretty
raw.
It's the real deal.
As it needs
Miss
to
Leah
be.
Cotter has been able to hear her speak. Miss Heather Hatman has been able to hear her and rave reviews. We were able to Zoom with her and kind of talk about how this would be structured, and I am so excited to be able to get her here. And we were able to use our FACE, Family Community Engagement Funds, to pay for that. So it's past time. It's due. 12/11 and through the 13th is ASBA in Little Rock. If you could, check your calendars over the next couple of days, maybe respond to that email I sent you, and let us know or text me if you would like to attend. We do have a block of rooms. We will be, have a couple of presentations we're going to send in proposals for. So more to come on that, but we did have to go ahead and get some rooms, so we'll cancel as needed. But we were able to get a block of room. It's already full, and that was like from last week. So, all right, that's all I got. I'll talk fast.
Okay, anybody else? Barring none, we will adjourn to discuss personnel employment, retirements, and transfers in executive session.